Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Um, Today we are going to see about the Unit 2. So, Unit 2 is titled as Approach to Life. So, this is approach to life, how we should live, what are the norms which we have to apply, what are the counter values which we have to ignore. Everything we will discuss in this one. So, what is success? What is happiness? Where the happiness will lie? To live a happy life, what we have to do. So, what is our conscience? What is a pseudo conscience? Okay, everything we have to study in this unit. So the contents in this unit are approach to life. So it is titled as approach to life. Then the topic one is conscience and pseudo conscience. So what is our conscience? What is our moral sense saying? What is a pseudo conscience? Nothing but a defense or an argument that yes, I am correct. So we have to differentiate what is conscience and what is pseudo conscience. So how our conscience will help us to identify the counter values and ignore them, and to identify the good values or positive values or accepted norms, and to incorporate in our habits. That conscience will help us. Then happiness as life goal. So how to find the happiness in life? So we have discussed in this content. Then values revealed and lived in religion. So what are the various religions are there? So many religions are there. Out of these 5 to 6 religions, we would like to discuss what are their values. Okay, what they are suggesting to live, to lead a happy life. Then experience of God. So existence of God, first we have to study, is God exist or God doesn't exist? If God exists, what is going to happen? If God doesn't exist, what is going to happen? We will just experience how the God will we will look into the concept of God. Then love, the three components of love, like passion, commitment, etc., will be there. The three components. Based on these three components, there are 8 types of loves are there, from long love to the compassionate love. So 8 types of loves are there. So depending on that one, each relationship we have to observe in such a way that whether our expectations are meeting, these three components are meeting or not. So we will discuss about the three components, and thus based on these three components, 8 types of loves we will see. Then some of the basic stages and issues of life: family, love, sex, marriage. So what is family? How to build up a family? What is a marriage? Arranged marriage? What is love marriage? How arranged marriage is different from love marriage? What are the difficulties faced by arranged marriage? What are the difficulties faced by love marriage? What are the advantages of love marriage? What are the disadvantages of love marriage? What are the advantages of this arranged marriage? What are their disadvantages? We have to study in this one. So these are all are about the contents which are present in this unit 2. So now we will see the first unit, first content. So what is conscience? Okay, in the previous unit we have discussed the accepted norms and counter values. So how do we differentiate that accepted norms and counter values? Using our moral sense only, we will just differentiate accepted norms and counter values. So this conscience helps us to identify the accepted norms and the opposing counter value system. So the conscience only will help us to identify, to morally sense that is this is correct or not, is it is acceptable norm or not, is this is a counter value, we should ignore this or not. So our moral sense will just try to tell us. Okay, there are 2 types of moral sense. So one is a conscience and next one is a pseudo conscience. The concept of conscience is to just identify what is the accepted norm and what is the opposing counter value system. So if we list out the accepted norms and counter values, usually these accepted norms are called as a positive values, and this counter values or a opposing counter value system is called as a negative value. So therefore we have to neglect the negativity from our lives, and we have to incorporate positivity in our life. To do so, we should have our moral sense to work for us. So our moral sense will guide. If you come across some situation, then what happens? Your moral sense will guide you that yes, this is right, this is not. So that moral sense we need. So whether it is guiding you towards positivity or if it is guiding you towards negativity, first we have to study that one. Positivity, what is the conscience? This is nothing but a internal judgment. You will receive one internal judgment when you come across some situation. So depending on that situation or accident or something, perception, everything, you will receive one inner feeling. Okay, one inner voice. That maybe many people thinks, many people just give a definition of conscience as interior judgment. So internal judgment, our internal judgment. Then mind of man passing moral judgment. What is the moral judgment he is passing? That is also defined as a conscience. Then a mediator between law of God and the will of man. So man's will used to say anything. Okay, we used to do anything. We consider everything is a right, but there is a law of God is also there. So the mediator between whether according to the law of God it is correct or not, our will is correct or not, that moral sense, that sense which guides us is called a conscience. And the voice of God, somebody will say that moral sense or a conscience is nothing but a voice of God, and somebody will say the judgment of the intellect about the rightness or wrongness of a course of action. So we have to judge that, that moral sense which judges it is right or it is wrong, that is called as a conscience. And somebody will say a call to action or to desist from action. So when you come across some situation, so if you want to pursue that action or not, it will also decided by your conscience. Then a faculty to discern good from evil. So what is the evil is there, evil attitude is there, from that one we have to find out the uh, good. Okay, good, we have to separate out good and bad. So that moral sense is also called as a conscience. Then a command to do good and to avoid evil. So whatever the our moral sense is saying, if that is a good, then we can carry out that one. If that is saying a evil thing, that is, then we can neglect that one. So that is also called as a conscience. Then a moral feeling of right and wrong. So same as that one. So whether it will decide that that particular situation is right or wrong. Then an integral part of a person's character. So conscience usually in every time, in every second, we will apply this one. In our living, we will apply this one. Knowingly or unknowingly, everybody has to apply this one. For every situation, for every second, we used to apply this one. So an integral part of a person's character. The last step in the process of differentiation between good and evil. So whatever the good is there, whatever the bad is there. So it is the last step to decide that, to differentiate in between good and bad. Then a moral feeling of right or wrong. Okay, whether it is right or wrong, it will also decided by this conscience only. So all these definitions are valid definitions for the conscience. No, nothing, a standard definition is not there. So it is the every judgment, every definition is correct according to the conscience. Usually this conscience is considered as a positivity. Then there is another argument, the opposite of this one, pseudo conscience. So what is this pseudo conscience? Okay, people many a times they will what they will do, they will commit some crime. Okay, because of this suppression, because of this thing, we have done that crime, they will justify like that. Okay, they will defend themselves. So why to defend, why, how they can defend like that? If they are committing some murder, serious murder, then they will just say, yeah, because of that issue I just committed this crime. They will justify that one. Is this justifiable? Okay, it is not justifiable. Okay, he has to convict under the court of law. So because of this, his pseudo conscience will guide that. Okay, I have, whatever I have done, I have committed a murder or I have committed some evil thing, everything is right according to me. That particular person will argue in such a way. So according to me, it is a right attitude. It is called as a pseudo conscience. Okay, whatever the attitude is there, we have to discuss everything, we have to discern good from bad, everything, then only it is called as a conscience. Everything, when you find out, when you just say that, yeah, I know everything, I am correct, okay, everything, this type of attitude is completely a different attitude, which is the opposite norm, which is a counter value. So this is considered as a conscience, pseudo conscience. Then obviously this type of people will just initiate a defensive attitude. Okay, they will defend themselves first. Okay, whatever the issue may be, yes, I am right, they will defend themselves. As you can see from this picture, you are the person. Okay, you are the person, you have to decide whether you have to go for the conscience or whether you have to go for the pseudo conscience. Okay, whenever you are going for the pseudo conscience, so you will be attracted towards the negativity. Whenever you are going towards the conscience, you will be attracted towards the positivity. Whatever you want to choose in your life, you can choose according to your requirement. Then accepted norms and counter values. So this moral sense, so two types of moral senses, conscience and pseudo conscience, will guide you to recognize what are the accepted norms and what are the counter values. So accepted norms are usually considered as a positive value, and counter values or opposing values are considered as a negative value. So you have to identify from the list of many values, not this many values are there. Many values are there. You will frequently encounter in your, throughout your life. So all the things you have to list out and just judge by yourself whether it is an accepted norm or whether it is a negative value or a counter value. So first one, if you see, this is doing your duty. Is it an accepted norm or a negative value? What can anybody say? Doing your duty is accepted or negative? Yeah, I think everybody is
Accepted.
sleeping mode. Okay, accepted norm. Okay, doing your duty is a accepted norm. Then copying in the examination, it is a negative value. Clearly, we can say it is a negative value. This applies to ourselves who are a student, who are still in a student life. This applies to ourselves. So it is a negative value. Because of this, we are imprisoned or we are giving some punishment. Then bribing to get a job, it is also a negative value or a counter value. Then telling a lie to escape from a danger, whatever the danger it is, telling a lie is not at all a good thing. So we will classify this as a negative value. Then not caring for beggars and the needy. So this is also a negative value because caring, we should show some concern for others. We should show some concern for the downtrodden. So some underprivileged society, some people who are at underprivileged condition. So we have to show some concern to them. So this is also classified as a negative value. Then confronting your superiors. Okay, many a times when superior is ordering, okay, so we have to just confirm that we have to do whatever he says. So because of that superiority, we can call this is also a negative value. And not caring for beggars and the needy. Okay, superior here you can consider your parents also. Okay, no problem that one. No, not caring for beggars and the needy. So this is also a counter value or a negative value. And jumping a long queue to get a ticket for a train. So this is also a negative value. Then not obeying your elders. Okay, this is also classified as a negative value. Then destroying a public property. Okay, it is also considered as a crime. So this is also a negative value. And spoiling somebody's career. Okay, it is a serious and heinous crime. So spoiling somebody's career, playing with a student's life and everything, this is also a serious crime. So we need to avoid that one. So this is a negative value. Then pointing at the fault of others. Okay, every time we cannot point at the fault of others. Okay, when he has done something really a faulty, really a bad thing, then only we can point out the fault. So every time we cannot point out the others' faults. First, we have to identify ourselves what are our faults. Okay, then only we can point out at others. So this is also considered usually as a negative value. Then betraying someone who helped. Okay, whoever helped you, you don't have to betray them. So because of this, you can consider this as a negative value. Then earning money in the wrong way. So this is also a negative value because earning money in wrong way like bribing or taking bribes, corruption and everything, this also comes under the wrong way of money. So taking that one is a negative value. Then child labor. So according to our laws, our existing laws, the child labor is a negative value or it's a crime. Then teasing a handicapped person. So we cannot tease a handicapped person. He is just a specially disabled or a special person. We can classify them. So we don't have to tease them. So this is also considered as a negative value. Then not helping the poor people. So we are about to help all the people who are underprivileged. This is what our society, the present Loyola society will teach us. So because of this, we will consider this also as a negative value. Then not being faithful to the parents. So usually the teenagers and everything, everybody will fall in love. Okay, that is not a love. That is an infatuation. That is an attraction. So because of this, a negative love or a not a compassionate love, we will just betray our parents. We will just not value our parents. We will not give a value to our parents' statements. So first we have to listen to them also. Then we should be faithful. So because of that one, we will see this as a negative value. Then lying, obviously the lying, many religions will not accept it. Lying as a good value, so it is also a negative value. And treachery, hatred, stealing, everything will comes under the negative values. Okay, there are many negative values are there. Compared to the positive values, there are many negative values. So in every aspect, you have to identify what are the positive values, what are the negative values. So then only you can just separate the good and bad, and just discern what is good from the bad, and everything you can do. So the next one is sins. What are sins? Okay, sins are nothing but whatever we commit, okay, that will create some impacts, that will just create some a negative impact on others, is called as a sin. So most of the religious will not accept the sins, so it will they will take as a serious crime. Okay, that sins will be looked as a serious crimes. Then what are these sins? Okay, according to the religious norms, the sins are nothing but arrogance. We should not show our arrogance. So every time we need to be a positive, we need to be a cool attitude, we need to answer everything. So we should not show our arrogance to anybody, not even your superior or even your inferior person. So everybody, to everybody you need to respect, what you need to give value first. Then only this behavior of arrogance will be lowered into you. Then anger. Then anger, we should not show our anger whenever it is required, then we have to show, but anger we have to lower any time. So this is also considered as a serious sin in the religion. Then envy, we should not envy with others. Then impurity, this gluttony, laziness, avarice, everything will be a sins according to the religions. But some one good British preacher was there. He just listed out some of the social sins which frequently we used to encounter on the universal level, not only the societal level. It is but it is in a universal level. So politics, nowadays politics is everything, because many countries are in the democrat as a democratic society, lives in a democratic society. So politics will have a major role to play that. So politics, doing politics without any principle is a major sin. Because of this, they can spoil n number of lives. Then wealth without work. So everybody wants easy money. Everybody wants to earn money through gambling or something else. So that type of money will not have a will be a social sin. So the obtaining money from that type of gambling, etc. So that money will be treated as a obtaining that money will be treated as a sin. So wealth without work is also a sin. Then pleasure without conscience. Okay, we want pleasure, we want happiness, we want joy, everything we want in our life. But what about the conscience? Okay, compromising our conscience, then we can obtain a pleasure. It is is that a good thing? No, we don't have to compromise our conscience. When our conscience is saying that is not correct, then you don't have to don't have to experience that type of pleasure. So you have to control yourself. Okay, then knowledge without character. Okay, people are earning degrees. Okay, degrees does not mean that they will have a knowledgeable, and knowledge in turns does not mean that their true character. So okay, we have to differentiate what is knowledge, what is a degree, what is a character. So when you don't have a knowledge, you don't have a clear character. So knowledge without character is also a social sin. Then industry without morality. Okay, many types of industries or many types of associations are there. So without any morality, okay, like if you see the medical business, what if doctor thinks that he wants to increase his business? So that indirectly indicates that he wants to increase the patient's ratio, he wants to increase the what called patients. Then this will be considered as a serial lack of morality, serious lack of morality. Then that type of industries we need to consider as a social sin. So industry without morality is also a social sin. Then science without humanity. When you have to take the human values, okay, in every aspect you have to take the human values. Without the human values, when you are doing science, it is not an acceptable norm. It is considered as a serious sin. When some scientist works on something, some bacteria or some virus, okay, he intentionally releases to the world. So what happens? He may be considered as a wonderful scientist, he may be considered as some Nobel laureates, but what about the humanity? What the destruction he is creating? Okay, using his own knowledge he is creating a destruction. So this is also considered as a social sin. So science without humanity. Then worship without sacrifice. Okay, sacrifice doesn't mean that we have to sacrifice some animal, we have to sacrifice somebody else. It is just a self sacrifice. Okay, we have to worship some god, or we have to worship something else, something some science. So everything, when we worship, we have to self sacrifice, we have to just work for the betterment of that thing. We have to take that values to the next generation. Then only it will be called as a self-sacrifice. Okay. Because of this, we don't have to sacrifice any type of animal or any type of our character or nothing. Okay. Self-sacrifice is the meaning of this worship without sacrifice. So all these are considered as a social sins. Then what is happiness? Happiness as life goal. So we already defined what is pseudoscience. Pseudoscience is nothing but that defensive attitude which governs that particular behavior of a person, that he is all right. Okay, according to him, that is all right. But conscience, we have to just motivate towards our conscience, which is our eternal judgment. Obviously, the person who is committing the crime already he knows that he has committed a crime or not, but according to his pseudo conscience, he wants to just argue, he wants to just win a defense. Okay, because of that he will show that pseudo conscience, but obviously that person will know, his conscience will guide that whether that is correct or not. So your conscience will also guide that your behavior or your attitude or your actions, your character, your attitude, everything, your conscience will guide whether it is correct or not. So based on your conscience, you have to act upon in every aspect. So please take your conscience as serious and work towards this one to develop your clear moral sense. Happiness as life goal. Then what is happiness? So where does this happiness, where does this medicine will lie? So can we say, is life precious to you? Can we answer this one? If you ask many people if life is precious to you, many people will answer yes, precious. Because of that only we are living. Because of that experience of a pleasure. Because to experience some joy in life. Okay, we are living. Because of our family, I am living. So everybody will find some motivation to live. So because of this, a life is very precious to everybody, not even the human beings. Every living organism, the life is a precious gift. We can call as a precious gift. Then do you desire a healthy life for yourself and your loved ones? Yes, we do desire. So because of this desire only, we are coming to work, we are coming, we are doing our actions, we are doing our duty, everything because of our healthy life, and as well as our family's healthy life, our loved ones healthy life, we are doing everything. Yes, we do. We want this one. Then have you any expectations out of your life? So do you have any expectation? Yes, when there is expectation only, you are living. You are not living like that. Okay, you are thinking more about your future, you are thinking more about the next second. So everything, because of this expectation only, you will get a motivation to live the next life. Then do you have any life goals? Okay, life goal here is very important. Yes, everybody who is a person, who is a human being, should have a life goal. Without this life goal, he will be just called as a just live for a present. Okay, that type of person. Live for a present means he is like an animal, we can say. Because if you see the just live for a present means we have to depend on many other things. We can't be like that, just we have to accept our present, we have to live in our present, because no human being can discern his past. Okay, depending on his past action only the present life is there, depending on his present action only the future life will be there. When you see, because animals will doesn't have any goal. Why? Because it's some animal, some cow or some buffalo is going, just what they will do, they will eat whatever they are come across, they will eat that one. Okay, they did not bother about this property is theirs or this property is their owners, or that property is somebody else. Okay, when some animal is eating the plants or plants of some trees which are there in others garden, that is not treated as a crime. Okay, because that animal doesn't know anything. But when you are feeling hungry, you can go to another person's garden and just pluck some fruit, and can you eat? No, this is considered as a crime. Okay, this is considered as a serious crime, this is considered as a theft, this is considered as a stealing. So because of this we have many laws, we have many norms, we have to adopt, because we are the human beings, we are the human persons. Okay, so everybody is abided by their own laws. So animals are doesn't have any laws, they don't have any type of society. Okay, so because of our laws and society, everything, man should have, the person should have a goal. So the persons will be of two types. One is a goal setter and next one is just live for the present. So as I given an example, just live for a person. They want to escape from the present life. They want to escape from every hurdle of the life. Because of this only, they will just say, okay, I don't have any goal. I just want to live for the present. Okay, just want to live this life. That's it. They will say. So when they are doing like that, so they are treated as animals. So you should have some goal. So towards that goal, how do you approach to just reach that goal is the major part of your life. So there are two types of person. One is a goal setter and next one is just live for the present. So last time in the first class itself, I just asked you first two classes, what is your goal? What is your short-term goal? Okay, goal means not single goal. Okay, we will have many goals. Depending on our life stage, we will have many types of goals. Okay, our goal will change. Okay, depending on our requirement, depending on our attitude, conditions, family background, everything, the goal will just change. So in the in the first two classes, I just asked what is your goal, what is your short term and long term goal. So when you are listing out your goals, you are clearly defining your life. Next, what is I am going to do, what is your action, everything will be just dependent on your present goal. Okay, so all these goals, many people have just answered that I want to travel to Jammu and Kashmir, I want to travel to Kedarnath temple, I want to travel, I want to settle, I want to get a good job. Okay, I want to be a big person or something like that. Many people have just asked. Okay, what is the common goal among this one? So to travel or to do something, to visit some temple, to go somewhere. Okay, to look after the parents, to get a wonderful job, to study. Okay, to do anything. What we want a money, we want. So many people, when not only our class, many people, when they are asked today, for many of us, a large sum of money and an advocate quantum of wealth seem to be a guarantee for happiness. So is this true? The people who don't have any money is not at all happy. Okay, can we answer this one? Is the people who don't have any money is not at all happy? Do poor cannot be happy? Can anybody say that one? Poor persons are not at all happy. Only the rich persons are happy. Can anybody can initiate a discussion on this one, or shall I move? Okay, just think of this one. Just think of this one. Whether the rich only will have a life, rich only will have a goal, rich persons will be a happiest person, or the poor person will don't have any happy things in their life, or they have to depend on something else. Okay, just think on yourself. Just make a concern for others, and together taking a concern of others and the poor people also, just initiate some discussion. Just initiate some discussion within you and try to judge this concept whether the poor is only the happier person or the wealthiest is the happier person. So you have to just differentiate in between that one. So when you consider your goals are clear, then what happens? You will have a clear action what to do next, what to do, what you have to perform next, so that you can reach your goal. Okay, if you see the person who wants to reach the happiness, will have a path to go. If the person doesn't have any goal, okay, happiness as a goal, when you just set your goal as a happiness, you want to reach somewhere. You should find some clear path. Otherwise, there is no path. Okay, just live for the present means there is no path for you. So because of that, you have to just choose your goal first, then the action which we have to adopt to reach that goal, you have to see them. Then happy feelings. Okay, in every time, in every aspect, we will try to just adopt many happiest things, just to see many happiest things. So what are these happy feelings? So excitement is one type of happy feeling, joy, pleasure, satisfaction, yet happiness, and everything this comes under the happy feelings. Okay, when we are just enjoying the feeling, so enjoying that feeling is called as a happy feelings, this one. So everybody has to experience this happy feelings or the sad feelings and everything. So when you set as your life goal as a happiness, you have to experience more and more the happy feelings. So what are these happy feelings? For example, when you come across major situations like this, as listed here, 9 situations, what do you feel? Do you feel a happy, what type of happy feeling you feel? So make a trip to OT with your close friends. Okay, if you just cut this statement, make a trip to OT. So if this make a trip to Ooty, going Ooty is your goal. So then what do you feel? Okay, you will feel excited. Yes, your goal is coming to realization. Then the next goal you send, you just set as a, you have to go to the OT with some close friend. So that close friend is coming with you. Then what do you feel? You will feel very joy, okay, excitement, every feeling will come to you. So just put this. Put yourself in this nine type of situation and observe that what type of feeling you are experiencing. Okay, all these are the positive feelings only. You just try to put this in your mind. You just ask yourself whether you are getting what type of feeling you are just getting. Then if you see where is the happiness, okay, happiness lies in the wealth, or happiness lies in the money, or happiness lies in where do it lies, what is the answer for this one? So how to find this happiness? So happiness we can find in our inner peace, and happiness can be found within ourselves. Okay, that's the definition for the happiness. So how this was decided? There's a popular story for this happiness. So when God created man in his own image, so this story is there in your textbook also, which I supplied in this one. Just read that one also. Then when God created man in his own image, he endowed him with tremendous potential to achieve great things during his life on earth. Noticing this, the small gods protested to the creator that man may compete with them because of the immense talents given to him by God. So they thought that the small gods, or the earlier persons which are created before the human beings, they are just arguing, they are just protesting in front of a creator, our God, in front of our creator. They are just protesting that they are saying the man. They will compete with this person whom he is creating newly. That person will be just competing with them who has come before us. So because of that that feeling, they are protesting in front of God. They suggested to God that to maintain the difference between them and man, at least one major element in man's life must be kept hidden from him, so that he should struggle to find it. So our major life goal will be to find a happiness. So that was the small gods. Okay, the earlier creators before us, before the human beings, they are just telling the God that you should keep some major element should be hidden from the man's life, or the human being's life. So that should be some major element to reach to that girl, or to reach to that major element. He has to struggle a lot, so that it will, there should be some difference between us and between difference between the normal human being. They are just asking the God. So after sufficient discussion with the small gods, the creator agreed to keep happiness hidden from him. So the element, the major element he wants to just put in a secret mode is the happiness. So he decided that, and he announced that that happiness will be hidden from them. Then the question come up as to how to keep it hidden. So how to keep that hidden? The happiness has to keep it hidden. How to keep that one? So they were just telling. Then small gods, some small gods suggested that happiness should be kept on Mount Everest. Okay, some happiness will be kept on the Mount Everest. They are suggesting. So towards the very long heights, you have to keep there, so that the human being, the man, has to struggle to reach that happiness. Then some others suggested it should be kept at the deepest spot. Okay, below the sea and everything. There you have to keep in the Pacific Ocean. So at that much deepest, you have to keep their happiness, so that human being has to go there and struggle there, and he should invent that happiness there. Then some others suggested Iceland, others suggested desert, while some others suggested moon as the place to hide happiness. So many people suggested in a different way. One people suggested, many gods suggested that it should keep kept in the Mount Everest, it should be kept in the Pacific Ocean, it should be kept in the Iceland, it should be kept in the Sahara Desert, it should be kept in the moon. So many people, many gods suggested that. But ultimate, the creator, our ultimate creator, or our God, after considering all the suggestions, gave his final verdict. So what did he give the final verdict? So let me keep it within him, he will never find. So this was the story. So the God set our happiness within ourselves. When you are just every time you are just accepting whatever coming to your way, you're down to earth, then happiness will be inside you. Depending on your inner peace and in your inner voice, and depending on that everything, you will find your own happiness there. Because of this discussion from the small gods and our creator has set our happiness in ourselves, within ourselves. So the answer for this happiness is within us, the happiness is there. To search for happiness has never been ending effort by most people. So the search for happiness, they don't want to reach their inner self. They want, alas, they will find happiness somewhere else. They wants to impress somebody else. They wants to earn a lot of money. They want to earn something, a good name, fame, everything. Yes, obviously they are required good name, fame, money. So to a limited extent they are required, but what is required in life is a happiness. So to find that happiness, some people are just struggling. Instead of going towards their inside, they are just struggling to find that happiness in the outer layers, compared to them. So they should find inside them. So somebody will try to buy it. So some persons, some human beings, just they try to buy it. Okay, like instantaneous feeling. When you want something, a wonderful bike, you want something like a wonderful pair of clothes, then what you will do, you will buy that clothes or buy that bike. Then you will feel that yes, this is a happiness. Yes, that is a happiness. Absolutely, that is a happiness, but it is not a long lasting happiness. It is just instantaneous. It is a temporary happiness. So somebody will buy that happiness using that money or something, with the time or something. Then some are contented with what little they have. Some, they will just satisfy what the little they have. Some never find it. Okay, many people will never find the happiness in their throughout life. Many people will work restlessly throughout their life in search of happiness. Okay, instead they have to work inside them. Because of this only, the people are suggesting yoga, meditation, and everything. When you perform that one, you can understand yourself first. Just to understand everything external to you, first you have to understand yourself. Because of this only, religious peoples are suggesting the prayers, etc., whereas some spiritual person, they are suggesting yoga, meditation, everything. So whatever the method you just adopted, everything, in every aspect, you have to look for the happiness. Okay, irrespective of your method, whether you are adopting truly prayer. So prayer will also give a more understanding about yourself. So meditation, yoga, everything will just incorporate you to understand yourself. So when you understand yourself, you will understand others easily. Okay, first you have to accept your norms. First you have to accept your limitations. First you have to accept your positivities. First, we have to accept your negativities. First, you have to accept your strengths. First, you have to accept your weaknesses. Then, when you identify your strengths and weaknesses, then you confidently say, yes, I don't have this type of strength. Yes, I have this weakness, but I will just overcome this one at some point in time. So, I will just, within a no time, I will just work on this one. I will just content. I will just take this weakness from myself. So when you understand your inner feeling only, the happiness will obviously lies there. Then obviously you can succeed. You can find your happiness from inside you. So you have to just work on this one. Just identify to which category do you belong. So whether you want to buy a temporary happiness, you can buy it. If you belong to this category, yeah, well known, you can go and buy it. So if you belong to the contented people who just wants to live for the present, or just want to live whatever you have, you can, yes, if you classify under this category, yes, but you have to identify yourself in which category do you fall. So some never find happiness. So you want to find a happiness, or you never want to find happiness, you have to just understand yourself. So you want to be in a restless category or not. So you have to just decide yourself. Okay, take this as a task. Then just find an answer to this one. To which category do you belong first? Okay, then is there any prescription? Okay, for the finding happiness, or for each category do you belong, is there any prescription? Okay, yes, do, but it is not a medical prescription. Okay, prescription is there from some spiritual leaders, from some wise person, from some religions, from some religious persons. There are many prescriptions. Okay, we have to follow them. If we don't find happiness within ourselves, we have to find from the preachers, we have to find from the wise men, we have to find from the spiritual leaders. Okay, we are not saying some fake babas. Okay, many good babas are there, many good religious person, many wise persons are there. We have to identify them. Many good religious preachers are also there. We have to identify them. We have to just admire them. Okay, we have to listen to them. Then we can find happiness in ourselves. So the wise man, the statement from the wise man to it is a prescription to find a happiness. The way to happiness from the wise man is keep your heart free from hate. Okay, first you have to keep your heart free from hate. So when you remove hate from your life, you just find happiness. So keep your mind from wrong. Okay, whatever the wrong is there, what irrespective of the situation, you have to perform the right things. When you are doing right, you will be self-confident. When there is a self-confident, you can confidently argue. You can confidently say, yes, my conscience is saying I'm right. Okay, that will be considered as a conscience, not a pseudo conscience. Then live simple, live simply, expect little, give much. Okay, we have to show concern for the others also. When you have to show concern means you will be just spiritually enlightened, okay, or a socially enlightened, or a socially knowledgeable person. Then you will live for others. Okay, it is not that you should not live for yourself, you should live yourself, but you have to give much to others also. Whatever you are earning, whatever you are doing, everything you have to take concern for the others also. Then fill your life with love. Okay, when you just take out the hate from you, love will obviously will come. Then you should fill yourself with love. Then scatter sunshine. Okay, sunshine, this is not meaning that you should be in a sunshine. Okay, you should be a shining person. Then forget self, think of others. First you should forget yourself. When you are spiritually enlightened, you will forget yourself. You will think obviously to the other person. You will show concern to whether whatever the person may be. You should show some beggars. Okay, in the last class, a good person, some girl, he just shown some interest. Boy also, he just said that he was just helping some beggars or helping some underprivileged person. It's just that's a good thing. You are truly in the true prescription stage. Okay, you are just adopting some of the prescriptions to lead to the happy life. Then forget self, think to think of others. Then do as you would like things be done to you. So how the things would be done to you, you have to do the same things. If you want a respect, you should respect others. If you want hate, you should show hatred to others. Okay, if you want love, you should show love to others. So like that way, what do you want? Depending on your wants only, you should show what you are going to show. Then what you are going to receive also. Then try this for a week. Okay, for the next 1 week, just try this. Okay, in every aspect, in every statement, what you are finding hate, wrong, giving for others, love, sunshine, think for others, or what do you want, what you want, everything you have to just adopt as your life. This one, adopt in your behavior, adopt this all these behaviors in your character. Then try for this week. Then you will be surprised about the result. Okay, what type of happy person you are just encountering. Okay, what type of life you are just leading before that and after that, you have to observe that one. Okay, take this also as a task. Then there are prescriptions from each religion. Okay, not only from the wise person or not only from the other preachers, from spiritually enlightened person. There are also a religions which are specifying this one. There are many religions, there are many unions, many religions are there. Out of this, I just popularly known religions, I have just summarized this one. So what are these religions? Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Jainism, Sikhism, every these religions are usually practiced in our country. So these religions, what are the values they are giving? Okay, what are the basics, what are the pillars of these religions? We will discuss this one. So to achieve true happiness, we have to practice a certain set of good values which are revealed and lived in various religions. So religions we should not accept as such. Okay, you should be feel motivated. You should just first differentiate the good values. So whatever the good values are there, from every religion we can take some good values. Okay, you can admire this one. Okay, nowadays many people are admiring science. Okay, apart from religion. Okay, they are also admiring science. Science can be a one religion, but the science is dependent more on the facts, findings, rather than the spirituality. But every religion will have a spiritual link to every aspect. Okay, if you don't find any fact, we don't have a scientific enlightenment. If you don't have a scientific enlightenment, we can relate, we can find the answer through some spiritual being. So spirituality is considered above all the religions. Okay, you should have some spiritual things inside you also. So you should develop spirituality inside you. So this was for today. Okay, for the next class, just I will go for this one. So each religion, what are the values are carried out in this each religion? What are their basic pillars? How they are practicing and everything. We I will try to conclude in the next class. Okay, thanks for your valuable time.